this is the great thing about art. It influences your daily life, you know. Actually, what we do with my wife, we change the artworks every 6 months.
We know a collector, like a big collector, probably one of the biggest in Slovakia, and he actually lost a shipping container because it flooded.
Oh, wow.
So you want to protect your art, and so how do you do that?
Insurance, that's a very important thing, obviously.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Art Seen Unseen podcast. My name is Gabriel Brockman. I'm here with my good friend Patrik Steinhauser, and we talk about art, all things art really, and namely within our home here in Central Europe. This is Bratislava, Slovakia. And today we're going to talk a little bit about living with the art that you collect. Like, where do you put your art when you start collecting it? And this space is a space that's known to you because you put these on the wall,
Exactly.
Right?
Yes, exactly. So my doggy is here as well.
We
today.
have a special guest today.
Mali,
Yes.
I have to dox it a bit today, so, but she's chilled. It's all fine. Yeah, you are right. We are here in Bratislava in the so-called downtown. Where this is like a new area where a lot of skyscrapers,
Business parks,
having built up. Yeah. We are on the 26th floor of a Zaha Hadid tower. There's 4 of them. You can see one behind you. Yeah. And I think the 5th one is just right now in construction. And this is a pretty amazing area because it's for Bratislava people that haven't been here. I think it gives them another more contemporary, modern, turn.
It's a different vibe compared to the old town,
exactly.
which is where your gallery is.
Yeah.
The Steinhauser Gallery is like right in the middle of Old Town, and it's cobblestones and old brick buildings with, old antique wood floors. That creak when you walk, and I think you can hear the difference.
Absolutely, and I mean, you can see the Danube River from here. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it's a great setup. But yeah, to answer your question, this is an apartment that has been furnitured by a company called 5 Star Living here in Bratislava. That is that brings high luxury Italian furniture and design to Slovakia, to their clients, wealthy clients. And we got asked as a gallery by them if we would like to curate one of the apartments. So this is the Molteni apartment. Molteni is an Italian big furniture brand. And it was a very nice call for us because, we like to work on projects like that, and we do this ever since we started 10 years ago as art advisors. We always teamed up with architects, with investors, real estate developers, and we were always teaming up for the projects on point of sale, I would say. So this is a showroom apartment, it's not for sale.
Right.
So clients from 5 Star Living, even from our gallery, can come here and can see and witness what it means to live in a high-end level with art and luxury Italian brands, like Molteni, for example. Behind us,
these are crazy cool.
Yes.
I was like, I keep looking at you and I keep getting this, like,
I love them.
My eye keeps drawing to this.
Yes.
These are not photographs, right?
Exactly, but they're not photographs.
So
no, it's paperwork actually. It's a drawing on paper, and it's Slovak artist Adam Šakový. And
we're familiar.
We're familiar.
Yeah,
and he's awesome. And he got influence in that series. It's a bit older series. I think it's from 2012 or 13. And it's a lot of these small works that he produced. And he was influenced by early 60s era Gerhard Richter when he was painting sfumato figurative in the 60s. And this was a huge influence on him. And he just came up with these very intimate scenes. And I love them, and they were perfect for this. And
we feel like when you have that camera in an intimate setting, it's blurry, it's not lit appropriately for photography, but the fact that it's done with a stylus is crazy.
Yes. And everybody thinks that it's photography, so this is great. But we have in total implemented 4 artists, 2 Slovak and 2 Swiss artists in this 3-room flat. And and I think it shows a little bit what is possible, and it brings, you know, the vibe of how to live daily with your art a bit closer to people that probably you know, would like to have something, but they're looking for inspiration, but they're not probably the ones that would first step into a gallery or a museum. But you know, you need to a little bit bring them closer through this channel, I would say.
Certainly.
And I'm very happy about these kind of collaborations, and I think they are very important.
It's a bit more holistic approach from you as not just a gallerist, but as an art advisor.
Yes.
And this is something that I think a lot of collectors miss when they speak to their gallerist. They think it's just what the gallery has on display at the moment, and that's not true at all.
No.
I don't want to get sidetracked too far, but you have an entire you know, back room, let's say,
a storage
of pieces from artists from previous exhibitions who are still with you for a certain amount of time. And so if you walk into a gallery and you don't find the right thing for this space, speaking with your gallerist or someone that you trust is a really good way to find those unseen, those hidden spaces in the art world. And I think that's another reason why we're here and we talk about these things, is because there are these little tips and tricks that you just never would find if you didn't know.
And I'm happy to share.
No, I mean, that's the thing. But like, you know, as a gallerist, somebody walks in to see your show, you don't want to say, oh, you want to see what's in the back room. You want to focus on what's being presented at the moment. But for the savvy collector, that's a hidden secret tip. Like, always ask, like, if there's other things in the collection, if you can maybe private showing of the storage, or even just the digital overview of what's in that gallerist collection.
I mean, the thing is, you said it correctly. There is, I think every gallery has a storage. Some of them are in the gallery space itself. Ours is a little bit far away in Bratislava, but it's an external. It's an external storage. But the thing is, what you said is correctly. There is, of course, you can find some pieces from the previous exhibitions that haven't been sold, but we are still they're still under our custody. But there's also pieces that we have and never shown in the gallery, but we deal with them. Even artists that we would never probably show due to several reasons in our gallery, but we consider them, you know, great and worth collecting, and we have them for the purpose of dealing with these particular pieces. So
sometimes the weird or bizarre, the niche, maybe not so popular appeal pieces, but sometimes those are the most fun to collect.
Or sometimes it didn't just fit to the curated show or something, or there is pieces that haven't been shown in the show but were extra, so we keep them and we can show them apart from the exhibition. And I think that's also a great deal of how to handle art as a gallery, and how to provide these informations to the respective clients, collectors, whatever you call them. And of course, with these projects, we are more in the realm of design, I would say. So we are pretty much aware that people that come here and see the apartment and the art are probably not calling themselves collectors, not yet.
And they're not shopping for those artworks at the moment.
Exactly, but they're looking for something genuine and worth for their wall. And it's actually, let's be honest, that's how I started to collect as well. I was looking for something for my, I think, kitchen or kitchen space, near the table, and in my first flat, So I think that's a very nice step into it. And when you show from the very first moment and communicate that it's about genuinity, about quality, about what real art, fine art should be about, that there is a meaning behind it, that there is a craftsmanship, that there is an idea, even a history where he was influenced, in particular when what we mentioned, so Adam himself, for example, just as an example. I mean, that's a story that people like to hear, and I think it's very important that we tell this.
Yeah. I mean, so that goes into our topic today about living with the art. And we talked about this before as well, the idea that art is an expression of yourself, and it's a way to not only express yourself but also find yourself, find out who you are, and through this journey of collecting or even just looking at art. I mean, there's definitely artworks that are outside your possibility for collection, but that doesn't mean that you can't consume them in appreciate
visually.
Them. Yeah,
exactly.
So when you set up a space and you're like, you think about it, and you're like, okay, how would I like to live in this space? Not just to make it look flashy or make it look, marketable. Yeah. But to make it meaningful. So this space, you feel like, okay, I could really get some work done in this space. We were talking last time when we were in your office, how the river made this kind of energy within the room, and I think pictures also have visual vibration that can spur you to create, rest, explore. We have one painting, I don't want to say who it is because we love it, but every time we have our guest come and stay, it's one guest, she comes and stays with us often, she has to take the painting off the wall.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because she can't have it looking at her. It is a bit bizarre, and if you focus on it too much.
But you see that's a reaction, and
but
now my question would be, like, if I would be that person, why do I have this reaction? So it's something very personal. So probably something in the past, or
can be.
Something triggers me in a positive, negative way, but it doesn't leave me cold, and that's what what I think meaningful art all around the world should be about. And when you said this, I was just thinking about some conversation I had recently with one collector here in Slovakia. And we've had an exhibition in November, and there was a very nice, huge piece by Italian artist Robert Bosisio. And we had a guided tour, and this gentleman came, and it was, I think, November, December, and it was quiet then. And this piece haven't been sold by us, so we went to another gallery, to another city, to another country even, and. This particular gentleman just reached out and told me, okay, do you still have this piece? And I was like, unfortunately, this is gone, and probably it's going to be shown at the fair, and so I don't think I can do something for you. But let me ask the artist. I'm very sure I can get you something very similar, and probably you will like it. So we did, and he liked the pieces, but he was not touched. So he explained me why this piece in particular touched him very deeply, and why he would like to own it. So what we did, we really gave 100% to get it back from the gallery, even paying them, of course, a certain amount. And in the end, we succeeded. And this client now is super happy because he got a piece that speaks to his inner, or I don't know, to his soul, to his heart, whatever you will call it. And he explained it, he expressed it, and I immediately got him. So I was like, okay, this is great pieces that we showed him, and but this is not going to work for him for sure. So that's also our our job to understand this collector and give him the possibility.
Welcome back to the Art Seen and Unseen podcast. My name is Gabriel Brockman. I'm here with my good friend Patrik Steinhauser. Today we're talking about art, living with art. Where do you put the art that you collect? We just mentioned finding that piece that really triggers something in you. So you've got that piece. Where do you put it? You put it in your flat. You put it in your home. You put it in your office. What's the best place? Maybe that's
good question.
Personal. Maybe what's the best place for you?
I mean, I think all my flats in the history, or even now, and also my office, and is filled with art. And actually, what we do with my wife, we change the artworks every 6 months. So that's why we also need personally a storage, and I don't need to buy a new couch or table because it's good quality, but I change the artworks, the sculptures and the paintings, whatever, and the flat has a completely different aura and character.
Yeah.
And I think I know from, let's say, collectors that are in the game for a longer time, they're doing this as well. And the good thing is that, of course, you don't, you buy a piece and you hide it for the next 6 years in a storage, makes no sense. Of course, if you have 2,000 more pieces, it's going to be hard, but then usually as such a big collector, you lend it to museums, to other shows. So, I think...
Or if you have real estate investment, for example, like this place, then you install it in your showpieces or in your showrooms and stuff like that. Yeah. I think one of the things that you hear often is that art is meant to be public, and it's a huge argument here in Slovakia. This idea that private collectors can come and take cultural works and put them in their bedroom. I think we touched on this before as well. Of course, when you patronize it, or you become a patron of the art, of the artist, you of course have certain rights as what you can do with that image. And that's important to preserve, but I think when you have opportunities like a showroom, like an office or a clinic, or even with your cousin or your nephew or your aunt or your uncle that has a business, or you have some sort of traffic, I think it's a great place to store or loan some of your art, even if you're not loaning it to a major gallery, which, if you're a beginner collector, it's probably not likely that they're going to be after types of pieces that you're collecting, but
it depends how important they are,
Yeah, I guess so.
If your first piece that you have ever bought is probably a very important, I don't know, let's say a blue chip artist, why not? Then you will probably get more calls from museums and directors to get it in some important collection. And that's also very good and important because you nobilizing it, you get a provenance, it will be published in some sort of catalog, so that's always good for the works. But that's the question.
The more it's seen, I feel like the more value it can accrue. I think there are rare cases where artworks go unseen for many years. But because of the name and stuff like that, when they do pop up in auction, then it becomes like this excitement around it.
But I respect the artists that say, okay, that's my private property, and I don't want I don't want anybody to see it or to know about it for whatever reasons. I do respect that. They have every right to say that. I'm not the one that says, okay, all art should be public, even in private hands. Why? Not at all. That's your decision. What do you do with it? If you, or wherever you want to hang it. So your question about, it's very individual or subjective,
The self-shredding Banksy. The artist is like, as soon as it's sold, he's shredded. What
a great PR marketing gag. But
and it instantly made the piece more interesting for the entire
valuable.
World. It was quite interesting. But I also can imagine trying to do that stunt if you're not Banksy, for example.
It was a big PR gag and marketing gag, and I think the whole world was watching and speaking about it and writing about it. So
it was interesting that he entered that space in general, because Banksy for his entire career up to that point had refused that. This is maybe a whole art as a spectacle. I think this would be a great topic for another episode. If you're finding this enjoyable and you want to hear about art as spectacle, as event, as shock and awe, I think we can definitely get into that. We definitely have some experience with artists that are about the shock and awe. There's some in our collections, and it's a fun topic.
But it can be even let's say shock on the personal level. Like I've read about this lady that every time she sees a certain Rothko, she starts to cry, so, and she doesn't even know why. Is it the colors? Is it the translucency? I don't know. She probably doesn't know as well. And so it affects
it's very
something.
Interesting.
It's very interesting. And that's a very personal thing, So, but this is the great thing about art. It influences your daily life, even when you come here as, let's say, a beginner or never really being interested in art, but you would like to cross this line and start to get more into it, but you don't know where to start, and you hesitate a little bit to go into a gallery space because you think they're very elitary, or museums. I get it completely. I get this kind of.
I just want to say, from a starting collector, they really aren't.
Yeah.
I've rarely walked into a gallery and felt any sort of pretentiousness from the gallerist. If you're bold enough.
Well, you haven't been to Paris.
No, we have.
Yeah, I know.
But even there, when you walk into those spaces, okay, sometimes they're a little aloof, but if you have a genuine question about a piece,
sure.
You can watch them change instantly from, oh, this is just another tourist walking through, to, okay, this is a potential sale. This is a potential buyer. Yes. This is somebody who's actually interested in the art, and whether or not they're interested in buying art at the moment, most gallerists don't care. They just want to talk about the art that's in their space. Yeah. And I think that's also kind of a little hidden tip is really just ask questions about, so if something really strikes your fancy, be like, can you tell me about this piece? Like, why is this affecting me?
Yeah.
We were recently in Santorini, and everywhere they have these paintings of the white architecture. And it's like every single art gallery has at least 100 of them, they're everywhere. And then we were walking through one gallery, and I wish I remember the name off the top of my head, but one of them, it was just so cool. Yeah. It was like you could walk into it, I don't know how it was different than the other ones, because it was the same, it was steps and these rounded white shoulders, but there was something about this piece and the way, it wasn't all completely realistically rendered or anything like that. So it wasn't like a photograph, but it definitely looked like you could reach in and like touch it.
Great.
So it was very capturing, you know. And that's the thing, like not every art piece has to capture you. It's not all super important. But it's really fun.
Yes. Yeah, you mentioned Santorini recently. Everybody just went after Art Basel to Hydra. To the Deste Foundation, everybody gathers there, and I think it's just the start of the art scene, of the summer season of the art scene, and haven't been there. Friends have been attending, so looking forward to speak to them how this was. But that's very interesting when you travel, vacations or and then you see this interesting, or about this interesting museum or gallery, and you attend, and you get some more impressions, and that's something that stays with you, as in your case, and you bring it back home, and it kind of influences you as well.
Yeah. Maybe that image is why all the rest of them are so popular.
Yes.
Everybody's trying to replicate, and make it a marketable thing.
But even when we think about where we are sitting right now, as I said, this is downtown. There is one skyscraper after another, and there's a few more coming, and actually the city is growing in that sense. It's growing. Not only in the far, but also in the height.
I would say even more so upward.
Absolutely,
especially in Bratislava's case.
Absolutely, and there is more. I have the feeling there is even more expats coming to Bratislava, and obviously there is a lot of big companies residing here. It's the main capital of this country, and that's a sort of a. I wouldn't say melting pot, because that would be too far, I guess. But
it's not quite London yet.
No, not at all. But it's getting more and more interesting, and it makes sense to have projects and collaborations like this one for a gallery, not only for us, maybe also for the other Slovak galleries, because there is a lot of potential. That I see always potential, in that. And obviously, not everybody is going to buy art or is an art collector, but even if you get to know every month one new person that wouldn't be interested in art when you wouldn't have been into this collaboration, I mean, it's a big gain, you know. You can change somebody's life, or influence or whatever, and you know, and just for me, it's a pleasure to see and to get people jump on this train and see how they develop and stuff, you know, and work with them even.
Yep.
I mean, that's a big pleasure.
I mean, we started as a collector and gallerist, our relationship, and it led to some Saturday conversations, which were like, these are really cool. I really enjoy, and we had this mutual agreement that these were worth sharing, and so that's why we're here, you know, talking about these things and sharing them with everybody else, because there are these little hidden places, like, and I think Bratislava used to be hidden, and I think it's not so hidden anymore.
No.
We were talking earlier, you mentioned that you were seeing Slovak collectors really accelerating now, which from our side as well, we've definitely accelerated in the last, I would say, 4 years. Our rate of purchase, the scope of what we're purchasing, like, and we're in that situation now where we've started rotating things as well. And even before we needed a space for storage, we were rotating between my wife's clinic and the apartments, and so we would change these things, and it's crazy how much that changes the feel of the space. So even if you have just like 1 or 2 pieces that are, you know, you consider valuable, collector's item, try to change the wall that it's on.
You can play with your own gallery. You know, I mean, we change. I mean, every second month we have a new exhibition, obviously, and the space gets a completely refresh. You know, a completely change. Every exhibition looks different and feels different. But you, as a collector, can do it same. On the same, of course, and you can do it even on a monthly basis if you're crazy, you know. It doesn't matter,
too often.
But what you said is also right, that the Slovak art scene, collectors, clients, whatever you will call them, we see that it's developing on a positive way, and it's one generation, which is, I think, our age, that is really accelerating right now, and
that's awesome.
That's great.
Welcome, everyone, to the Art Scene Unseen podcast. My name is Gabriel Brockman, and I'm here with Patrik Steinhauser, and we talk about art and art in our lives, art in the place where we live, which is Bratislava, which you can see behind us here. We're in the downtown area, which is a bit more like Soho compared to the old cobblestones of the Stari Mesto. And so this place has kind of a up and coming vibe and an energy, and it's definitely worth checking out. We're in this wonderful space here with a collection curated by Patrik Steinhauser, and gives you a really good example of what living in a space with your art feels like. And I have a fun story about a painting that I made for one of my first patrons, wonderful family in Czech Republic. And I brought it over with me in my luggage, in a ski bag actually, because it was a large piece. And they had it up on their wall, and they were super happy with it. And they called me up one day, and they were like, "We have some very bad news." And I was like, "Oh, what happened?" She's like, "Our 2-year-old decided she wanted to add to your picture."
No, okay.
I'm like, "Can you help?" I was like, "No problem." I grabbed my paints and I grabbed some extra stuff, and I visited them in Prague, because I was already living in Bratislava at the time, so it wasn't like I had to come back from the States. So I went and I fixed it, like I actually repainted and fixed parts of it. And they were so embarrassed, and they're like, "But if that had been anybody else, like..."
Yeah, you know, I can imagine. Yeah, but I have a very not a similar, but also a story that came to my mind. A few years ago, I was advising a collector, a German collector in Frankfurt, and he bought several pieces from me, and there was a huge painting from a Korean artist, Gina Park, that we also work with, and she works with egg tempera.
Yeah,
and it's a very accurate figurative painting, beautiful. But sometimes she leaves marks and destroys a little bit, but very, very, very small details, just maybe, I don't know, one drop where you can see, and we sold it and we delivered to Frankfurt, and it came from Seoul because it was in Hong Kong. Okay. It was exhibited in Hong Kong, so we had to transport it from Hong Kong to Frankfurt. Which was, but okay, we
different story.
We survived. And then he was unpacking it, and then he called me and he was like, "Patrik, the painting is destroyed." I was like, "What? Whoa, okay. Please tell me what happened." I mean, of course this can happen. I mean, we have the insurance for that, but still, that's headache that you don't need. Yeah. And I was like, "Yeah, I see a drop. Somebody, but probably it was wet or something." And I was like, "Okay, can you photograph it for me?" He make a photograph. I immediately knew that it's part of the painting, but he still he was not convinced. Yeah. So I had to ask Gina, the artist, to write me a text that this is a part of her technique and why she did it, because she doesn't like the perfection, and that's something that she, doesn't like. And then he read the text in English, and he was like, "Okay, now I'm fine. Okay. Now it's perfect for me." So sometimes you really come across very strange things sometimes. But in the end, he was happy. Everybody was happy. So insurance, that's a very important thing, obviously.
So you want to protect your art. Yeah, of course. This is the, kind of the reason I brought up the story.
Yes.
And so how do you do that? Because oftentimes, depending on your home insurance policy, fine art is not covered in your home insurance. So you need to have additional insurance for your collection. There's of course documentation. You have all the provenance. You have the certificate from the artist. You have the invoice from the gallerist if you bought it there. The receipt from the art fair, whatever. It's also not a great idea to store the original work with those documents. Don't put them in an envelope behind the painting. Maybe this is obvious.
I've seen something like that,
but this is not a good idea. No. You want to store those either in a safe deposit box or a safe not in the same location. A bank is also a good place for that kind of stuff. What are like top?
Well,
top 3 things that you need to do to protect your art.
Insurance is a headline here. I don't have so many experiences with Slovak insurances because I know that there is no such product that concentrates on insuring, let's say, a huge collection here in Slovakia. So what we do, we have a German insurance, and it's way less expensive because they do they're used to it. They're used to it. They do it on a regular basis. I have a German passport, so for me it's not a problem to even as a Slovak gallery to get a German insurance. The communication is in German, so everything is fine. And I think it's very important to be sure that your assets are when there is already some worth in value, that you feel safe having it somewhere on your wall or in the storage. So insurance would be number 1. Of course, depends on what kind of medium you have. It's important that, for example, we mentioned egg tempera. It's very important that it's not direct sunlight on such a piece,
because the temperature change can crack it.
Exactly, and because it's out of egg white and pigments, so this is organic material. So you have to think about these kind of photography. I mean, this is not photography, but as we said, but photography as well. You have to always. So you have to inform yourself what is, let's say, healthy and unhealthy for your particular pieces, and then you have to store it that way or hang it that way.
And usually you can ask the gallerist or the artist the best practice for storing it. We bought one when we were in Venice during the Biennale. We went to off gallery, found this wonderful piece. And the technique on it involved using beeswax on the canvas. So canvas with oil and then sealed with beeswax. And so it had this really nice translucency to it, this depth of the color. And we're like, okay, but it's beeswax. Like, what if we store it, in our, upstairs, where it gets kind of warm, like up to, like 35, And they were like, no problem there. Like,
yeah.
And so, but there was a concern that we had, okay, is it going to melt?
Yes.
You have some crazy ones in the gallery at the moment from Patrik and Gabriel.
Patrik and Gabriel, yes, from Italy.
These sculptures.
Yes.
And they use wax and resin and these types of things.
Pigments,
and,
yeah.
Pigments.
Absolutely.
Not something you're going to put in the sun.
No, I mean, you shouldn't probably. But I mean, just came to my mind that I have sometimes conversations with collectors that paperworks, for example. A lot of people think that paper is not as stable as canvas, and we now speak about 100 years or 200 years.
Yeah.
Obviously, of course, canvas, stored in a good way, it's probably less risky. But on the other hand, even paper, if you know how to store it, how to work with it, what not to do, and how to even how to treat it, it's not a medium that should be somehow dismissed.
Yeah.
But there is some collectors that have always, before I pay certain amount for a paperwork, because they can be of course also expensive works on paper in decent sizes, then they rather invest in canvas. I understand it, but it's probably a little bit the information, the right informations need to be provided that it's not that risky as they think. Yeah.
And also like if you have one of those paper artworks that have kind of stood the test of time, if the paper is it's not as stable as it once was, I think that almost even adds a bit of preciousness to it, if it's well preserved. It's like, when you have vinyl records, you used to, you're still are a collector, you have a large collection of vinyl records, and the care with which you take in handling those, that also transcends to, your canvases. When you're looking at hanging them, a lot of times you'll get a piece from a gallery and there won't be any hardware on it, and so you're like, how do I put the hardware on it? There are certain ways that you can do that protect your piece, and ways that are less destructive, I bring home a framed painting and I want to hang it, but there's no fixture. What should I do? Like, what's the best thing to do in that case?
But what do you mean by fixture?
Like hardware to hang it, like a metal bracket or
there is a lot
cable.
I would probably go to a guy that frames professionally and just ask him to help with that. Yeah. I mean, they know what to do, and we work with these people on an almost weekly basis because as a gallery, of course, we do. For exhibitions, we do care about framings. Some artists would like to present their pieces framed, some don't. Some provide already framed, some leave it on the gallery, it depends, And also when we sell something to a collector or to a client, we always ask, would like to frame it? If so, we can give you a good contact. We can even not provide you only the contact, we can even take care about that. Yeah. We give you the prices, bring it to the framing company and bring it back to your flat or office or wherever, or storage, whatever you want. So this is some plus that we provide as a gallery as well.
Transportation is another topic. If you want to live with your art, you need to figure out how to get it to your living space.
I mean, that should be already a transport company that knows how to handle art. And it's because also for the insurance company, they always ask about this. Is this a verified transport art transport company? And if not, then probably something happens, covered. Your insurance is not going to cover it. So also for your own interest, And obviously these transporters specialized. They are more expensive than others, than just a usual, a furniture transporter. But they know how to take care about it, how to grab or even to transport highly risky material like glass sculptures, for example. I mean,
we were in the Zoya gallery with
exactly
with what was the artist with the
Ronnie Plesso,
Plesso.
and friends, from Shein.
Yeah, like those pieces, I can't imagine like putting that in the boot of my car. You know, a large tree trunk, basically.
But about glass, I mean, there is also this pressure thing. I mean, if you have like the long distance flight and the cabin pressure is not correct, it can crack. It depends on what kind of material you have. So all these things need to be somehow thought before you send it away. Unless you want that it comes just
and generally broken. Like this is where the gallerist really comes in. They know everything about the art, how it's made, who's making it, how to transport it. They have reliable contacts for transportation.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously, there's probably a threshold at which you're looking into both insurance and if it's a couple $100, maybe even $1,000.
Yeah.
Maybe you include that in some sort of batch insurance, and it's not necessary to insure each piece individually.
You have to think about this before, I think, and it's a part of the whole process of acquiring an art piece. And art pieces.
I think we got to a point where like, okay, now we have quite a lot of things in our collection, and it would be a shame if something happened to them. Because when we first started collecting, they weren't so valuable. There were smaller pieces, but some of them have gone up in value. We've added other pieces, and now we have quite a lot of them. And we're like, oh, okay, well, if somebody breaks in and steals them, if there's a fire,
water damage.
Luckily, we're on the top floor, so there's nobody going to rain on it. Well, maybe the roof leaks. That's possible.
But we are here. We can see Danube River, and we had last year in November there was this flood. And the Slovak National Gallery is just across the street to the Danube River, so they had to really cover their doors with sandbags. And I mean, that's it's dangerous. I mean, absolutely.
I mean, I think, especially if you're like on ground floor or storage and places like that, can be really risky. I mentioned there was I think it was in a previous podcast. We know a collector, like a big collector, probably one of the biggest in Slovakia, and he actually lost a shipping container because it flooded.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know where he was storing it or why he was storing it in a place where it could flood, but he was he took a little bit of a loss on that one.
Pity for him.
I mean, maybe it was insured, but
still, I mean, even if it's gone, it's gone. It's a piece of unique piece of art. You don't want to, if you're a real collector, you don't want to jeopardize, with
like my painting in Prague. It's
emotional value.
It's a different piece than it was before.
It's like Banksy, Now it's something different and more valuable.
Now it's more.
The story.
I mean, there's definitely a story to it, for them, and it's a piece that they have quite a few pieces in their collection.
But I had the same thing. I have one client in Stuttgart, and he wanted a huge piece for the dining room, and they have like a 2-year-old son, and we were like, okay, it's canvas, it's oil. Okay, what happens when
grape juice?
When So there is a possibility to cover it for let's say 3-5 years until the boys bigger and understands that this is something valuable with some plexiglass. Obviously it's going to be more expensive. It doesn't look that good, but at least it's covered. If you want something like that.
So this has been a really cool talk. I think we could talk more about keeping your artwork safe, but obviously speak with your gallerist about care for your artwork. They can also recommend insurance providers. Things like that. If you're unsure, you can always talk with your financial advisor for those types of things. They know these things. You just have to ask them.
Exactly.
No one's going to come to you and be like, knock on your door and be like, "Hi, I'm a art insurance salesman. Do you have any art that you want?"
No. Like, I think as a gallerist, you should be prepared for these kind of questions. In my opinion, if you want to provide a proper advisory and make the deals.
I would be very
complete.
Surprised if I did ask a gallerist and they didn't have an answer for me.
Oh, I think you will find many of them.
Yeah?
Yeah. They don't care. That's like, okay, that's your problem, you know.
Okay.
But, you know, that's all
That's
fine.
not you.
Not me, no.
And that's why we talk. No.
Yes.
Thank you very much for joining us
Thank you
today.
as well.
We're here with your wonderful...
She's sleepy.
She's sleepy dog. This has been a great talk in this wonderful space. Definitely has a nice energy to it, thanks to the art that you put in it.
Thank you.
Thanks to the space that it's in, this kind of modern little slice of Bratislava as it grows up,
Yes.
quite literally.
Yes.
So thank you, Patrik Steinhauser.
Thank
My
you.
name is Gabriel Brockman, and behind the camera is our wonderful producer, Mark Bartovich. So big thanks to him for all he does on that. Thank you, and join us the next time for Art Scene Unseen.
Bye.